You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into episode 67 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. I'm Drew. He's Sammy. What's going on, Coach?
Coach, what's happening today? We doing all right?
Doing fantastic, Coach. December tomorrow, fired up for the beautiful holiday that is approaching. Thanksgiving's over, and the biggest holiday ever is, Tigers won the state, so that's over. We'll move on, but
it's so funny to me, and I could care less. It has no bearing on my life. But I've never heard the Tiger fans talk so much about the state championship until they finally have had a year like this, and now all of a sudden it means something. Whereas
that was the ultimate goal.
Oh, God.
When you go 4-4, that was the ultimate goal, right?
Hey, it's, as we all know in the state, it is an extremely important deal that happens, who wins that game. But it is funny that for years now you've never heard about it unless South Carolina has won, and when Clemson won, it's another day. But guess what's happened?
Tigers have gotten worse, but all that's about to change, Coach. Breaking news across the board for the Tigers today. We won't get into all that. We'll get to some obvious baseball here. Started off the top ropes, Coach. The 2025 rankings have been released, and there is a new number one.
New number one, Coach. Big time check, right? We've talked about it before. We got a very, very talented class in that 25 class here in the state, and a big time switch up. And it's not like it was a far move, right? Will Craddock making the move up to number one, blew the doors off of everybody that didn't around the country that didn't know who he was at the Futures game. And I mean, it's talent with projection, with present skills and power and everything right now, and making the move. I mean, I know it's a right-handed hitting infielder, but it's a guy that's a shortstop now that can stay at shortstop and has bat speed and power. Kind of fits the bill to be able to look at him and go, that guy's going to be able to stay at short for a long, long time. Whereas you hate to say it, most kids in high school that play short, they're not shortstops at the next level, or if they get to pro ball, they're not. And this is a young man who's going to have a chance to stick it short and play a premium position for a long, long time.
And his counterpart with the jacket, Seth Manning, has made some jumps up as well, all the way up number 7 now.
Making moves as well. TL Hanna, I think I made a call on this pick not too long ago about who might be my state championship pick. We'll get to that in the future. But, yeah, I mean, we've got a chance to watch Seth, multiple times. We watched him the high school season, and then we got a chance to watch him at a couple of events end of the summer and this fall. And it's kind of like what Will did, right? And we've talked about this a lot with guys that making jumps going the right way. And, it's not that, hey, this guy wasn't this. They were both talented players that just keep progressing and getting better. And, Manning, I think, we saw him last year come out of relief one game at the Diamond Invitational there, and it's 88-90, and we're like, wow, who's this guy? Who's coming from behind the plate, and now he's going to still hit, but I think he's told me he's going to try to make that move to the outfield so it's not as taxing on his body as being a catcher. So very talented arm to go along with a very talented shortstop over there at TL Hanna. So no pressure, guys. No pressure up there at Anderson County.
Which I don't think you'll be the only one that picks the Yellow Jackets to win the state championship.
I'm not going out on a limb.
Coach is hopping on the back of the wagon on this one.
I was first. As the world of Drew says, I was first.
Oh, here we go. He was first. Austin's still going to pick West Side. Anyway, another one that stood out to us that's made some big jumps all the way up number 12 is Noah Franklin too.
Yeah, young man. We hadn't had a chance to see him a ton. I saw him a little bit last spring, high school. He's kind of banged up a little bit, and kind of physicality. And we got a great chance to get to meet him, get to know him, and see him at the pro case. And you kind of go, before he was always commit. He was a Duke commit early. We didn't know much about him. We didn't see much about him, but he kind of came out and shocked the world. I mean, it's a catcher who can catch and throw, shows arm strength and athleticism, in a bat to play. I mean, it's one of those arguments that he was right there battling to get himself in that top 10. And a bunch of really, really good players in that class. But, he's a young man that kind of looks like he's got all the package moving forward with, not only the bat, but also the defensive skills behind the plate.
Hey, we could go through each kid, Coach, but I guess the story of the 2025 rankings, the Gamecocks, 6 commits in the top 10.
Coach, that's 2 classes. The Gamecock fans are loving some prep baseball, South Carolina, via the Twitter. Not that we've made these guys good players. We've just put them in a pretty slide and ranked them up there where they belong. But it's obviously right. We it's very, very talented class, and it's not just a top heavy class. It's a deep class all the way through. We jumped it up in numbers, and we could have kept jumping up, but sometimes you just want to keep adding kids in there, and you don't want to have them sliding and falling. But we got some really talented players going on, that are committed, that are got offers out there that are going to keep getting committed. And, kind of a tangent on this one. We've talked about it before. Some players rise and fall, right? A lot of times when a player falls, it's not because of him himself. It's maybe because of a player keeps rising. Call it, heck, I think one of our players we raised up in the rankings, he moved up, but he dropped in essence because we moved him, we slid him up, but he fell because of players in front of us. And, we got a young man that shot up in the ranks, and Emory Horton that was a non-ranked kid that, he was recently blown up and committed another Gamecock commit. And we could have put him higher, but it's a 6'5" righty that's 88, 90, but he slides up, which if he's going up, somebody has to come down. So, it's going to be fun because I do think this one's going to be a class where you can look up in a year and go, there's going to be a ton of draft prospects in this class. Whereas we always know in the state of South Carolina, as talented it is, usually not that many draftable guys, we've left some P27 guys off that because we've made a little decision in company-wise to make sure they have a year of residence with ranking them. So some of these kids don't pop in for 6 months and leave, and we rank them. So, we're going to look up in a year, and this class is, I think, going to have a chance to have a lot of pro attention to them, which might make some of these colleges a little unhappy when it's all said and done. But
little old South Carolina.
Little old South Carolina making waves, boy.
Coach, watch out. Hey, and we already got some signups in this 25 class for the PSAs.
Coach, it's rolling. It is rolling. My email has been going bonkers today with requests. The requests are flying in. We got some high-level players that have signed up already. Some big-time committed players signed up already. So it's
one of them I was the first to ever see. So
first player. Nobody has ever seen this young man play until Drew showed up. I mean, nobody. Even when the kid threw the first pitch and walked on the field, everybody had their backs turned except for you. So the first person ever seen was them. But we're off to a hot start with these. Like I said, if you have that invite, accept it. And the one thing we're doing, I talked to a couple of parents this morning. If you're trying to come to the 20th up in Clemson and that fills up, right, and their space is still open, if they're actually open down in the shipyard, we're going to have to ship guys down to the shipyard. So it's the same event, just different places. A little old South Carolina PBR is just trying to move and come to you guys, try to split it up a little bit more. Home game on the 20th for you, so you'll be fired up for that one.
Tiggertown. It's my birthday weekend, so make sure y'all bring me some gifts.
Coach, it's going to be wild in Tiggertown on the 20th. It's
everyone celebrates Stewie's the Richburg Rockets birthday. They ride around on crotch rockets through downtown Clemson.
I was about to say, I think we found out yesterday the true reason why you're the Richburg Rocket. I think,
the crotch rocket gang.
Yeah. Apparently we found out yesterday there's a crotch rocket gang in Union, right?
No, it's in Chester, but I started the Richburg crotch rocket gang. That's why they call me the Richburg Rocket.
the legend of the Rocket continues.
It continues.
I mean, it's every day we find out something new about the Richburg Rocket.
I wear many different masks as the Richburg Rocket.
Stealing bases, stealing things out of people's houses, hopping on your rocket, taking off.
Stealing at people. Oh, God, we just went.
We're throwing another one in there. You know what I mean? So,
Coach is going to confess me of a felony on the Palmetto Dugout Show.
The Rocket can outrun it. You know what I mean? You can outrun the felony conviction.
So I should start doing speed and agility lessons. Call them the Rocket Agility Training. Located in Richburg. Hey, yeah, the PSA is always good. The media coach from PSAs is always good.
And we're adding new things into them this year, right? Last year we implemented the jump mat, right? The jump mat returns, right? It's still with the 60, the 10-30, 60 split on the lasers. We're adding grip strength. See how strong we got some grip. We're adding that into it, right? So we're adding more things. We got a different camera breaking out. We're gonna add some new camera angles. So we're doing more things, trying to add more things to these events to help showcase these young men that come to it and try to give them, the best event they can come to. And I will throw this one out here. I was talking to a dad I know really well today, and his son is a sophomore in high school, and he called me about the event, and we were talking about it, and he said, look, I was actually talking to one of his good friends is a Division I coach here in the state, and he said, really, one of the most important things you can do for your son is to get him into a PBR event and get a good write-up on him. He goes, all colleges are seeing this and reading this. And so I proceeded to tell him I need to call that coach and send him some thank you flowers or something. But, right, it's huge, right? Especially in today's day and age where, especially for the month of June and beyond, right? The transfer portal becomes a good thing. And right now coaches can't get out. There's not much going on. So these coaches are scouring the internet to make sure they see stuff. And, they're reading these things and watching these videos and reading the reports and seeing all the things. So it's very beneficial for these guys to come, whether it's, if they're from out area, whatever, going to, North Carolina's or Georgia's event. But yeah, obviously we're going to pump ours, but come to ours and get the good data, get the video. And that's what I told him too, because my buddy was like, well, my son doesn't run great. I go, look, we're getting the data, we're getting the stuff. I go, but we're having all this video that goes and collects everything. So when a kid's at the event, you can watch the actions. You can watch the arm action. Like, if he doesn't have the strongest arm, he's a sophomore, so what? But he's got good feet, he's got good hands, he's got good arm action. We can see those things. With the bat, you can see the swing, you can see those skills, and it's easy to project. And also with that grip strength you're throwing in there, the jump mat, the explosiveness, the 10 and 30 and the 60, you can project a little bit more. So a lot of good things heading in the direction for the players moving forward for some things we're doing here.
A lot going on in little old South Carolina, and I am so deeply saddened to know that if Clemson would have made it, I could have gone Saturday and still not missed the showcase, Coach.
Yeah, sorry, Clemson fans, you guys are going to be at the house, but we're the official call is in essence has been made. But this Saturday was supposed to be our great PD region scout day down in Florence Legion down there at Legion Field. But with the beautiful weather that's rolling in to the entire state of South Carolina, starting Friday night and staying through the weekend, we're going to go ahead and postpone that thing into the following weekend. So that will take it from the 2nd to the
8th.
Take it to the 8th. Everything's going to be the exact same. We're just going to switch dates.
It'll be the 9th.
65 and sunny. I got a calendar right here, so we can go.
7 days be the 9th.
It'll be the 9th. So Saturday the 9th. But everybody that is signed up and registered for that, if you guys are listening, we're going to send out the official email tomorrow morning just to let everybody know. We had already sent out one just saying, hey, heads up, here's the deal. We're in communication with those guys. But went ahead and talked to them today, and probably the smartest thing to do is go ahead and postpone and move that. So you can attend a birthday party.
Oh, I'm so pumped for this birthday party, Coach. Coach is giving me hell about it for 3 weeks. Yeah, okay, we're going to stop there, Coach. We're not going to let the public in on the Richburg Rockets plans. We're just going to, I'm sure Omar will comment something down below. But we'll just leave it at that. It's a birthday party. We don't know whose birthday party it is or how old that person is turning, but it's a birthday party.
Birthday party. Chuck E. Cheese.
You're awful. The people do not want to hear you. We do have one big shout out to Braden Renfro on his commitment to North Greenville University. Congratulations to him, Coach. They're slowing down for me, so we'll get all these graphics out here soon after the birthday party. We get to the fun part here. Coach is dying. We get to the fun part, and that is our weekly wonderful pick'em. This is it before the bowl pick'ems, Coach. We are in week 14. Coach has won 4 in a row. He has won 5 total. Austin has won 5 total. Coach is 2 games back. No, I can't remember. One game back from Austin. 2 games up on me. Struggling here.
The tides have turned.
Oh, but they will not turn this week.
It's been, we can let the people in the amount of trash you and Austin were talking over my picks over the years. And or over the year, I should say, not years. But, sometimes it's what's the old saying? It ain't how you start.
How you finish.
So, I don't know.
Can you finish strong for week 14?
100%. I hadn't even looked at the picks. So
here we go. We're going to announce Austin's first. Coach, you're going last. I'll go second. Coach will go third here. So we'll kick this thing off in the Conference USA Championship game on Friday night. New Mexico State plays Liberty. Liberty is 11.5-point favorites. Austin goes Liberty. Give me the Flames to set up a later pick we'll get to in a little bit. Give me the Flames.
Ooh. Bold. I don't think any of those are bold calls. The way this season's been going, I'm gonna go the Flames as well. Flames for the win.
Easy. The next game I struggled to pick. Pac-12 championship game. Oregon plays Washington for a spot in the playoff. Washington is currently 9.5-point underdogs. Austin is going with the Ducks. And I think the Ducks get their revenge in this one.
This is one of those games where it's tricky, right? Like they played earlier in the year. Great game. Washington wins by 3, right? Washington's undefeated. Nobody still wants to put them in the playoff scenario. They won the regular season, but nobody likes them. Right, they've kind of limped their way in. They've won, but they've limped their way into this point. You got 2 quarterbacks that are in contention for Heisman, which is it should be an exciting game. With that being said, I do think Oregon's better. I think in a neutral site, I think Oregon's gonna win this game. I just think they're a much better team, talented team.
We're just gonna go sweeps across the board here.
We're either going to win together or lose together on this, boys.
Well, you moved to Saturday with a 12 p.m. kickoff for the MAC championship game. MAC is back.
Action, baby.
Miami, Ohio plays Toledo. Toledo is 8-point favorites. Austin's going Toledo. I'm going Toledo. Give me the Rockets because I am a Rocket.
Richburg Rocket for the win. Holy Toledo, just due to the name, I'm going with Toledo as well on this one.
It's too easy.
This is going to be a tough one right here coming up.
Oklahoma State plays Texas in the Big 12 championship. Texas 15-point favorites. Austin is going with Oklahoma State for the upset, but it's horns up. Give me the horns.
Upset special right there. Can Oklahoma State get Texas out in their last game ever in the Big 12. Can they knock them out and ruin their life? Right, they're on the outside looking in right now with the playoffs. So can a Big 12 team end a future SEC's team? I don't think so. Horns, we're going to hook them. I think they blow out Oklahoma State, and off we roll.
I think I need can't remember the exact part. Coach, I need Oklahoma State not to lose by 21 or 22. I'm sorry, I got them at 21 and a half. This is just a fun game. Anyway, 3:00 is the Mountain West championship game. Boise State plays UNLV. UNLV 2.5-point underdogs. Austin's going with UNLV. I'm going with the Broncos. Give me Boise State.
I got say hello to my daughter back here. She rolled in. Say hello. I don't know who to pick on this one. Austin's going UNLV. You're going Boise. I need to catch Austin. I just caught him the last game, so we're now even. So with that being said, I need to make the move right now. I'm going the Bronx. Boise State.
Woo! I think I'm going to make the move right here. Georgia takes on Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Again.
Alabama is 5.5-point underdogs. Austin's going with Georgia. We know it. Coach, you always told me if there's anything I learned from you, it's never go against Nick Saban. Damn it, I'm not going against Nick. He's 7-0 in Atlanta. Give me the Crimson Tide in a big one.
You know, two things we've talked about, right? Not going against Nick Saban, but not going against Georgia this year, right? And you would have been in first place, well in first place, if you had stopped going against the Dogs. Like, it would have been a runaway for you.
Yeah.
I do think Georgia is the best team hands down in college football. I don't think it's close. But you got Nick Saban who does wonders. Now, he did say something in his postgame the other day. When you win ugly, sometimes you got to be worried about some things. With that being said, Dogs working on the three-peat, knock them off. Dogs for the win.
Catching up, guys. I'm catching up. Nick Saban's got my back on this one. Hey, you move to the next one. I think I'm gonna catch up right here too. The American Athletic Championship game. SMU is taking on Tulane. Tulane is 3.5-point favorites. Austin's going with the Wave. Coach, 7 weeks ago, SMU lost me some money. I hate their guts. But you know what? They're going to the ACC. They score a lot of points. They knocked Tulane out of the New Year's Six to get Liberty up there, and SMU wins the game.
Goes back to the first pick right there. I see what you did there. I think this game might be 75-72 as a final score. A lot of excitement. I don't think they know how to play defense out there. I'm with you on that one. I think SMU is just going to outscore them down the stretch, right? I think they get one more stop than Tulane does, and I think SMU wins in a shootout.
Old pick. How about this? The Sun Belt Championship game. The App State Mountaineers getting in the game. They're going to take on Troy. Troy's 5-point favorites. Austin's going Troy. I'm going to go Troy. Their defense is too good for App State to score.
You know, shows you how much I've followed Sun Belt football. I didn't think these two teams would have been in the championship game. I know why one wasn't in it. With that being said, I'm just going to go Troy because y'all won with Troy. So let's go.
He's gotten a little. He's thinking this out now. He doesn't want to separate. He doesn't want to lose a game.
I'll just go with you guys on this one.
Coach, the next game's a tricky game to pick, but it is the ACC championship game. Louisville takes on Florida State. Florida State 2.5-point favorites. Austin's going Seminoles. The Seminoles, well, Louisville just lost to Kentucky. Bad loss because the Gamecocks beat Kentucky. the Seminoles, they can't throw the ball anymore. Seminoles win this game 10-9.
You know, I saw a stat today, right? And I think we can say this about Louisville. Louisville was, 9-1 going into last weekend?
Yes.
Had one of the easiest schedules. Now, you give them credit for winning. New coach, new regime, bring his alma mater back. But they played nobody. You look at Florida State outside of LSU early, it's played nobody, right? High-level defense there. But they played nobody. So is it high level? I don't know. They played a bad Florida team last week, and maybe an uglier game than a lot of fans in this state watched of the Clemson-South Carolina game. With that being said, I think Louisville is going to win. I think they're going to win handily, to be honest with you. I think they bounce back. You got a head coach. It's his alma mater. He's really upset that they lost and probably knocked themselves out. And I think they're going to ruin for the ACC and have no team in the playoff. Rightfully so.
Wouldn't be a shocker. You know, if the Tigers aren't in it, they don't have a team in the playoff. It is what it is.
It's close.
Hey, we get to the last game. Here's the Big Ten championship. Michigan takes on Iowa. Coach, Michigan is 23-point favorites.
And the over-under is something ridiculous.
Hold on. I got a really good stat for you. Austin's going Michigan, but here's the stat. The team total for the first half for Iowa is under a half a point.
So, hey, what have we always talked about? Vegas knows something?
A half a point, Coach. I mean, that's incredible.
So with that being said, who are you taking?
Do I even need to say it? Vegas knows something. Michigan whips them.
You know, how about this? Iowa's 10-2? Is it?
Yeah.
10-2, and your offensive coordinator gets canned in the middle of the year, and you're 10-2. Like, think about that. Like, it shows you where we're at in the world in college sports, but they're 10-2, playing for the Big Ten championship. Now, I think if they were in the other side of the division in that league, they wouldn't be 10-2, but it is what it is, because I think we've talked about it before, every team on that western side, their offensive coordinator would have been canned because they couldn't score any points. I do think this one's actually going to be closer than what it is, but I think Michigan runs away with it late. The return of Harbaugh. He is free.
Big stat.
You know, and I think Michigan's really trying to prove something. You know, they can't, you know, are they good enough? We'll find out here in a few weeks when they get into the real games, but I think they win in a closer game. I don't think it's as much of a blowout as people say. Iowa's going to score the most points they have all year. They're going to score 17.
Oh, brave pick. As long as the total is under 41, we're good. Total in the game. I'm glad I could give you guys insights about my knowledge in the betting world. I hadn't won a lot, so don't take those options very strongly. You go to the tiebreaker, Georgia, Alabama. Yeah, Richburg or Bookie the Rocket the Bookie.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. Yep, that's it right there. Tiebreaker, Georgia, Alabama. Over-under is currently set at 55. Austin goes 59. Because this is a tough one. I think the Tide. I gotta add this up. You know, I'm in my special educator mode.
You're an educator. You're just not a mathematician.
The Tide went 28-24, total at 52.
Wow. You know, SEC in the history of the whole thing has always been known for a little bit more defense, right? Both offenses are starting to figure it all out, right? For the first half of the season, right? Nobody thought Georgia's quarterback was good enough. You know, if you're the starting quarterback at Georgia, the defending national championship, I have a feeling you're probably pretty good. They can always run. They got athletes all over the place. He's figuring it out. He's becoming a superstar. Alabama, right? They bench the guy. They're done. Milroe's terrible. They start figuring out Big Shot, Nick Saban, good athlete, great player. Milroe down there. They're figuring out, scoring a lot of points. I'm going over. I'm going 65, Coach. I'm blowing this thing out.
Blowing it out.
Puts me over the edge right here for the win.
I hope it doesn't get to the tiebreaker because the Tide are going to win and y'all lose that pick, so it doesn't really matter. Because damn it, I'm going to be right once about Georgia losing.
Well, I mean, if you do it enough over the course of like your life, it's going to happen. But
it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Coach, they have won 29 in a row. Do you know the last team to win 29 in a row?
Clemson.
Dang, you ought to be on Jeopardy. The Tigers, Coach, but they couldn't get to 30.
It is going to be – that's what separates the great ones, so Georgia will get there. But, that's – imagine this, right? And obviously we're in the SEC country. I know you're an ACC guy, but you realize – imagine if Alabama wins in a tight one against Georgia. How do you hold Georgia out of the playoffs? Which in turn, how would you leave Alabama out? Like,
I think Alabama gets in.
If they're in that, like.
But so it all depends on who else wins. If Texas wins, Texas beat Bama, Bama beat Georgia, Texas, Bama in.
I mean, how does – yeah, I mean –
because then you have Oregon and Washington and Michigan. I mean, that's your four. Florida State's out if all that happens.
Yeah.
Even if Florida State wins.
Oregon and Washington might knock themselves. But if Oregon beats Washington, then both might be out. Which I also find the crock because all year long, everybody said the Pac-12 is the best league. Arguably the best league. So if that's the case, how do they end? Right? If Michigan loses, they should say sayonara, on them, get out, So, yeah, it'll be a big weekend. I don't feel like it's been this chaotic coming into for the playoff scenario coming into conference championships.
There's usually been just like one spot.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 have already been locked.
Yes.
Now you got it's wide open.
Wide open.
No one has locked anything.
No, it'll be And you sit there and you go, well, Georgia, if they're playing a Nick Saban team that's got one loss to a team that also sits right outside the top 4. It's not like they lost it to Georgia Tech or something.
Coach, the Tide are sitting at number 7. No team below number 6 has ever made it going into the last week.
No team has ever had Nick Saban as their head coach, though.
That's a lie. LSU has. Oh, they weren't in the playoffs then. Never mind. Let's keep going here with this conversation. Anyway. We'll see if Sammy can take the pick before we roll into our beautiful bowl 70,000 game pick 'em. Best part of the year, right? It's what we look forward to on the Palmetto Dugout Show. So hey, that's gonna do us for 67. From all of us here at PBR South Carolina. Have a great week.